Hello, it's John Heaton, and I've got some interesting things to show you today, which I picked up recently. So better get right on with it. First of all, this is an Indian Red album, which is notable for two reasons. One, the back cover is the same as the front, which actually, rather than interesting, I would call lazy, actually. And the other thing, which is slightly more interesting, is the Apple label is on the black background as opposed to the red background. So that's why I picked it up, and just for completeness sake, and file it away. Wasn't expensive, so good to have that. This is a German repressing of Extra Texture on the Fame label, and in the UK the Fame label was terrible. They just it was a kind of yellow label with a kind of red Fame writing on it, I seem to remember. But in Germany, you got the green apple. So it's just glorious to see Extra Texture on Apple on what was, after all, a budget label, but I don't care because, and this is early 80s, I think, because Fame wasn't formed until 1982. So happy to have that. Again, wasn't expensive. Then at a record fair, well, before I talk about the record fair, I also went to a pub in a town called Székesfehérvár, in about an hour outside of Budapest, because I was invited to attend a vinyl evening in a pub there and discuss George Harrison's music. So thank you, Ferenc, for inviting me, and it was a very enjoyable evening, and we sat there and we played a couple of records and talked to the people about All Things Must Pass and the self-titled, and then I stayed the rest of the evening, and I had free beer for the whole night, so it was great. And yeah, it was all in all, it was a good experience. So again, thanks, Ferenc, for inviting me. And then last Sunday, there was a ginormous record fair here in Budapest on the Buda side in some university. I only found out about it from one of my local record shops, Kalman. He told me about it, and so I got in the car and went, not expecting great shakes. And I got there, and there was literally a huge room, must have been 20 or 30 stalls of people selling records. And you know, I did find a lot of goodies. It wasn't absolutely amazing, but I did find some goodies. Among them, a US copy of Mccartney, not in great condition, but wasn't expensive. I think I paid just a few quid for it. Picked up because of interest, because it's on the US Scranton label, and it's got that typeface McCartney by Paul McCartney, not the italic. So I thought that was quite interesting. And also on the back cover, it's got manufactured by Apple Records Inc., 1700 Broadway, which was Klein's address, Abco's address, and I think that pissed off Paul. And then the later edition even had managed by an Abco managed company, which really pissed off Paul. So anyway, just nice to pick up a US copy of McCartney. This was a Japanese pressing of Double Fantasy in amazing condition. I'm not sure if this is from 1980 or some kind of repress. I was looking on Discogs, I can't find any kind of repress other than the CD stuff coming out. So if this is from 1980, it's in amazing condition. And interestingly enough, on the back there, that top picture there, is advertising George Harrison's Somewhere in England, which wasn't released till June 81, but at that time, just when Double Fantasy was coming out, it was getting presented to Warner Brothers, so maybe it was kind of scheduled to come out, and then Warner Brothers, as we know, rejected it. But this is the original cover before they changed it. So that got me thinking, this is from 1980. It's in amazing condition, as most Japanese vinyls are. This is virtually brand new for all I can see, and just wonderful to have a brand new copy of Double Fantasy for a reasonable price. I didn't pick up the new vinyl when it came out, because I think new vinyl is by and large overpriced, but I enjoyed picking up this, and also as it comes with the obi, as you can see, and the lyric sheet, the English lyric sheet, and then the Japanese lyric sheet and sleeve notes, which is nice to have. So this is what one would call a complete Japanese edition, whereas this Beatles for Sale Japanese edition is missing the obi, as you can see, the strip here, but it has got the insert. No, it hasn't got the insert with the track listing, but it's got the Japanese writing on the gatefold, which is interesting. And again, it was priced accordingly because, you know, it didn't have the obi and stuff, but it comes, what the most interesting thing for me is, comes on the green apple. I think this was a 70s repress. Obviously Apple didn't exist when Beatles for Sale first came out. So I know in the US they started pressing Beatles records on apples in the early 70s, and I think Japan was similar, or maybe a bit later. I looked it up on Discogs and they didn't place a date for this edition, which was a little bit frustrating, but anyway. Also at this record fair there was a stall selling singles in picture sleeves, mainly Hungarian and Yugoslav picture sleeve singles for 300 forints each, which is about 70 pence each. So I picked up a couple of those, like Boogie Wonderland, which I had in my top 20 disco songs from the other day. It's another Hungarian custom-made sleeve, as you can see. And this was a Boney M, Brown Girl in the Ring, advertising the 3 albums on the back. And then the Yugoslav copy of Another Brick in the Wall. Very nice to have that. Kind of Harvest label there. And then a picture sleeve of Hungarian picture sleeve of Name of the Game from ABBA, so that was nice. And then I picked up another an obi, Japanese obi, of one of my favourite albums of all time, Fleetwood Mac Tusk. And this is interesting. I don't think I'm going to get out, or maybe I'll get out one vinyl to show you, because again it's just in pristine condition. If it isn't new, it's near mint, as they would describe it. And what intrigued me about this particular set, not only is it complete because it has all the inserts, including this insert here, but most intriguingly for me is 2 things, if I can get the stuff out. One is a lyric sheet, and this album never came with the lyrics. I have got the songbook which has the lyrics, but this Japanese copy comes with the lyrics from '79, so I was very impressed with that. And then tucked inside here, and you could miss it if you're not careful, if I can find it. There's a lot of goodies in here. I did see this in the shop, and I didn't investigate it till I got home. It's a kind of mirrored postcard advertising Tusk. Look at that. And I looked on Discogs, and none of the Japanese copies I could see included this. So I think this is a bit of a find for me, and very nice to have. So I'm going to keep this Japanese copy of Tusk and look after it well, because I think I got a good deal on that one. So then we're moving on to some other finds. I picked up this copy of Stevie Wonder's 1974 album, Fulfilling the First Finale, and I never had this on vinyl, and it's a proper, the gatefold with the lyrics, and with the Japanese insert as well, with no obi, but the Japanese insert. And so, as you might expect, the record is in fine condition, and it's on the familiar Motown label there. I did play it the other day, it sounds great. Again, near mint. All these Japanese finds are near mint as far as I can see. This is a second-hand copy of Don't Shoot Me, and I was looking for this in my collection. I thought, I must have this on vinyl somewhere. But I certainly, if I do have it, I don't have it with the booklet. And looking at it, I looked throughout my collection, I don't think I have it at all on vinyl. And I was just delighted to find this, because not only it's the gatefolds, but it's got, a whole booklet, even more extravagant than Yellow Brick Road, and probably on a par with Captain Fantastic for extravagance. So, and then the actual record itself is in good condition. and this was not expensive, around about £10, something like that. So nice. And then the last thing I have to show you, and James Griffiths, you might be a bit envious of this if you don't have it, or maybe you already have it. But I didn't even know, I don't even recall seeing this when it first came out. This is ELO's 4 Light Years, which was a compilation containing New World Record, Out of the Blue and Discovery, Out of the Blue being a double album, making 4 in total. And it was a kind of follow-up to the 1978 edition of 3 Light Years, which I have, which had On the Third Day, El Dorado and Face the Music. But this 4 Light Years is from 1980, and it comes with a lovely booklet with the lyrics and some pictures, similar to the booklet in the earlier edition. So lovely to have that, and considering it's got 4 records inside, and it comes in these red ELO labels, with the record label being in red as well. Considering it's got 4 records, although I do own them already obviously, but 4 records plus a booklet in a box, the price was very reasonable, and so I had little hesitation in picking it up. So that was my recent finds. I'm still waiting for a couple of important ones to arrive in the post, but they'll have to wait till after Easter. So have a good Easter, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.